Welcome to the Gym and Tonic Podcast. I'm your host, Shanae Kunsa from SK Bodyworks. This is a podcast where I share valuable education, insight, and strategies around all things health, fitness, nutrition, weight loss, and mindset, mixed in with some laughs, a whole lot of balance, and a few ums along the way. If you're ready to make your weight loss and fitness goals a reality, you've come to the right place, because through these episodes, I'm going to help you live a healthy but balanced life, lose the weight, and become the best version of you possible. Let's go, girlfriend. Hello and welcome back to the Gym and Tonic Podcast. I wanted to start off today's episode by firstly saying thank you for everyone's support. We are at, I think it's just over 600 downloads on the podcast, which makes me so excited. And so many of you have also been, landing in my DMs over on Instagram and Facebook saying how much you've been enjoying the episodes. So thank you so much for your feedback. It means the absolute world to me. And if you have been loving these episodes, I would truly appreciate if you could like, rate, or review whatever there is to do the podcast, as that allows me to be able to get into more ears and essentially reach and impact even more people. Okay, so today's episode we are chatting about March's challenge. Marches sounds weird. So this is something that we do on the podcast every month and have been doing since August last year. So August of 2024. So we'll chat about the challenge for this month on today's episode and how it's going to essentially support you on your journey. We'll also spend very briefly spend some time just reflecting on last month's challenge. Before we actually dive in though, I do want to give you an update on the business and what has been happening, because let me tell you, there has been so much going on in my world. So a little bit of an update. Number one, and I guess as always, my clients are having and have been having amazing results and huge wins. So I'm just forever feeling so proud of them. And, it's such a joy to be able to support them on their journeys and work with every single one of them. And then secondly, now you may have seen this on my post on socials this week already, potentially, but I am no longer identifying as a quote unquote weight loss coach. And in saying that, am I still going to be working with clients who want to lose weight? Yes, I am. I'm just stepping away from the title of being a weight loss coach because it no longer feels aligned with me and also the true transformation that I actually offer. And I guess that's because the transformation that I offer goes way beyond weight loss. It goes way beyond the number on the scales, and the results that I bring to my clients and their lives go far beyond just weight loss. And I literally completely transform the lives of my clients, and they lose weight as a byproduct of the work that we do together and the incredible changes that they make. And do not just take my word for it that the work that I do is life-changing. I literally have endless screenshots of client messages in my camera roll on my phone, as well as countless reviews and testimonials, which you've probably seen all over social media, my Instagram highlights, and even Google reviews as well. I literally need to cull through the photos on my phone because I have that many screenshots of client messages. It's actually ridiculous, but that's okay. So the work that I do is about real transformation. So, helping you to transform not only your body, but also your energy, your mindset, your habits, and your life as a whole, leading you to create, permanent change and really living and leading a lifestyle that you actually enjoy and that actually lights you up every single day. And, weight loss happens as a result of that work that we do with my clients. And, like I said, it's simply the byproduct of, deeper and more profound changes. And, the thing is, you don't just want to lose the weight. You also want to be able to feel good in your skin. You want to own your power and really be able to step into it. You want to, be able to create healthier eating and exercise routines that actually stick and that you actually freaking enjoy. You want to be able to feel energized and confident. You want to be able to, build healthy habits that make you feel unfreaking stoppable. And, you want to create boundaries that protect your peace. You want to be able to transform your mindset so you can stop holding yourself back and getting in your own way and start really truly living your life. And you want to start thriving instead of just surviving, and you really want to become and step into that best version and most evolved version of you. And you want to wholeheartedly love the woman that's looking back at you in the mirror. Not just on the outside and I guess your body, but also the inside, because your external world will always mirror your internal world. And this is the transformation I give my clients as a transformation coach. So this is the work that will literally allow, my clients and you to be able to achieve the body that you desire, as it will come as a result of the work that we do together. So, you're absolutely, and a lot of my clients notice the number on the scales come down, but everything else in their life is going up. We're creating the vision and the version of them that's pictured on their vision board. And, this is truly the transformation, the kind of transformation that leads, to the body, energy, habits, routines, and life that you truly desire. So over here, moving forward, I am embracing my new role as a transformation coach. So it essentially combines everything that I'm passionate about and qualified in. So fitness coaching, nutrition coaching, weight loss coaching, personal training, and most recently as a life and mindset coach as well. I'm going to talk about this more a little bit in a second. And I guess also just in the background of that, being an ex-chef, and what I like to call myself having a lifelong role of being a food enthusiast, because I love food and I love cooking and creating recipes that are not only tasty and delicious, but also supportive of goals and, healthy, but they really don't compromise on that taste part. So when you are ready, you who is listening to this episode right now, to completely up-level your life, your body, your energy, your mindset, and everything else in between, that is when we work together. And for me, transformation coach feels so much more aligned with the work that I do and the transformation I offer. So that's a little bit of an update. Not too many things will look different in terms of my services and offerings, but I do have another update, which you may also have seen if you do follow me on socials, whether you see my post or not, but I'm going to share it on here anyways. But in February, so last month, I finished my Coach Mastery and Advanced Coach Mastery, which qualifies me as a life coach, which I am so excited about. And I will be taking on a small number of clients very soon. And I already have 4 amazing women on the wait list. And I am only going to be offering 4 to 5 spots initially at a highly discounted rate. As I'll need to get at least 100 hours of coaching in the next sort of 6+ months. And then once I've got my 100 hours of coaching, then I need to do 10 hours of mentoring with a mentor before I can sit my exam to also become an ICF registered or an ICF accredited coach. The ICF is essentially the International Coaching Federation. And to give you some insight of what that is like you could almost say like the governing body who sets the standards of, coaching in different kind of, in particular, I guess, life coaching. So not every life coach that you probably see or follow on socials are registered with the ICF. One of my biggest values is doing things to the best of my ability. So that I guess really aligns with that, which is why I'm wanting to go for that. And I think it really just positions you as an authority and a leader in the industry, and also to have that trust with not only your clients and show that you meet all of the standards and the guidelines and the expectations and the all of the things, so that you can support your clients in the best manner possible, essentially. So yeah, that's a little bit about what that means, but I am so excited to start with one-on-one life coaching very soon. And if you do want to get on the wait list to be one of the first to know all of the details and access, this offer at an exclusive early bird rate, DM me on socials, whether Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever. I'm not as active on TikTok, FYI, but DM me life. And we can chat about that. And as soon as I have all the details, which is going to be very soon, you'll be the first to know. And like I said, I'm only holding 4 or 5 spots at maximum to begin with. And these will be only exclusive to the early bird rate. So, yes, so that's that. And I guess this month, which is actually starting next weekend, so March, first week, or second weekend in March, we'll say, and then early into that following week, I actually have my face-to-face hypnosis trainings, which I'm so excited for. If you're like, hypnosis, like I feel like everyone's like, hypnosis, like what is that? Like you dangle like a bloody watch thing in front of someone's face. Like that is not what it is. That's like, yeah. Anyways, hypnosis is essentially like guided meditation, which really helps to rewire our brain. So anyways, I'm so excited for that next weekend. And then in May, I have coming up my NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. We always also do matrix therapies in that, which again is really about sort of rewiring that brain. So in total, there's about another 10 face-to-face training days. And then I do have one more in August. And I have more modules and online learnings to work through. So I'm so excited to be able to bring this work to my clients. And honestly, what's like the best about all of this as well is meeting so many like-minded people along the way, and on the journey through my life coaching diploma. And I actually just yesterday afternoon had a coaching session. So I was a client of someone and then I gave a coaching session. So a part of our subjects, we don't have to have, but they suggest having a coaching buddy that you do, practice coaching on throughout the sessions. And so that was yesterday afternoon. And the day before that, I also had sessions with another buddy that I have. So, because we are all about action over here. And honestly, like coaching is so powerful. Like I had some huge insights and takeaways from both my sessions this week, really. And I truly cannot wait to be able to bring this work to my clients, and just the depth to be able to support my clients on an even, deeper level. And, some of you may already know this as well, but I guess my journey with self-development as a whole really ignited this fire inside of me, which is why I really wanted to deepen my knowledge and essentially share it with the world to help you become the best version of you possible. And yeah, it's something that I felt deeply passionate about, and literally becoming like obsessed with all things to do with our subconscious mind, with meditation, hypnosis, manifestation, the law of attraction, how to rewire our brain, emotions, mindfulness, our psychology, literally like everything else in between. Also alongside becoming a little bit of a spiritual girly. So 2025 is not even ready for what's coming. And I'm so pumped to see what this year entails. So if you are ready to transform your life and want to jump on the waitlist for one-on-one life and mindset coaching, DM me life on socials, and do not delay this if you're interested, so that you do not miss out on the huge discount, which is only available for the first 4 to 5 people who sign up. Okay. One more thing before I dive into this month's challenge. I actually just wanted to explain, to you, basically, what the fuck a life coach is. Because honestly, I don't think a lot of people truly know. And honestly, if I was asked this years ago, I wouldn't be able to tell you. And becoming a life coach is something that's been on my heart for a long time now. And it's something that I was pondering on and thinking about for so long. So so excited I took that leap and, to already be where I am in my journey and to very soon be bringing this work to my clients. It's literally lights me up. So yeah, I'm so excited, so passionate. And, even for me, like it has truly supported me on my healing journey and, in coming back home to myself. So to sum it up, the overarching role of, I guess, a life coach is to help people make progress in their lives in order to attain a greater level of happiness and essentially fulfillment. It is very forward and future focused as well as outcome orientated. And essentially, life coaching is a collaboration between the client and the coach, partnering through a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires clients to be able to maximize their personal and professional potential and development. And it can literally be focused on any area of life. And the process of coaching, and this is something that I can 100% agree with, but the process of coaching often, unlocks previously untapped sources of possibility, productivity, leadership, and literally so much more. And I personally don't believe that you need a life coach just when things are, challenging, but also when things are good, to help you continue evolving into your next level self, and literally so you can become a magnet for the life that you fucking desire. So essentially, to sum that up in a tiny nutshell, a life coach is, a professional who provides coaching, guidance, and support to individuals or even groups in their, personal development journey, and really just helps them to achieve their goals and, take actionable steps towards those goals. And like I said, it can be in any area of life too. So for me, as obviously, being in the health, fitness, nutrition space, I am actually, for the time being, not going to be blending this in with, nutrition, fitness, weight loss, all the things. It's actually going to be a separate service, let's say. So, yes, it could be health that we work on together, but it could be, finance, it could be your business and career, it could be relationships, romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, or even your physical environment. So yeah, I could be literally here all day talking about, life coaching and my journey with life coaching, working with coaches myself over the last few years, and things that we would work through together and how it would transform your life. Because like I said sort of earlier as well, this is the exact work that helped me transform my life. So that is why I'm so excited and so passionate to bring this work to my clients, to really be able to support them on an even deeper level and an even deeper journey with that depth to, even further transform their lives. So I think that's enough about that now. You can tell that I'm passionate about this because I could talk about it all day. But let's get to the monthly challenge. And if you are a regular around here, you will know that the idea of these monthly challenges is to really up-level ourselves, challenge ourselves, grow, get the fuck outside of our comfort zones, and ultimately become more expansive versions of ourselves, take the action, and step into the best version of ourselves possible. So that is the idea of these monthly challenges. And if you're a regular around here, you already know that. But if you're not, that is the purpose of the challenges on the podcast that I bring to you guys every single month. So last month's challenge, so February's challenge, was to implement a digital detox, both before you go to bed and in the mornings when you first wake up. We also spoke a little bit around, outside of that, with changing your morning and evening routine, and even potentially implementing things like pre-sleep rituals to really support good quality, deep and restorative sleep. And I'm really not going to spend too much time on this before we dive into actually what March's challenge is, because, I spoke about it on last month's challenge. So on last month's podcast episode. So if you haven't yet listened to it, go back and listen to it. It is a game changer. It's something that has transformed so many of my clients' sleep, even their habits, their mood, their mental health, so much more. It has a huge ripple on effect, which is why around here, I'm all about having a holistic approach when it comes to your, health as a whole, because it's not just one thing. It incorporates and encompasses so many things, which has a ripple on effect on all other areas. So it really is so powerful, that holistic approach. So like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. If you haven't listened to last month's episode, go listen to it. I would love to hear how you found this challenge if you did do this in February. So DM me on socials, post in the community Facebook group, and yeah, let me know how you found it. And I know for me, like, personally, it's already something that I've done for quite some time. But in saying that, it sort of did start to become something that I wasn't practicing as consistently. So in February, I definitely had a lot more awareness around it. And I guess in saying that, I was also kind to myself because I did have a lot going on in February. Like, for example, I had my life coaching diploma, like my face-to-face trainings. So I was, in the city for a number of days, and, I was also working outside of that. And so, I had to be realistic in that situation, be like, okay, I know this isn't every single week, or every single day, but it was for a number of days. And I, was being realistic with, anyways, I don't need to explain myself more, you get the point. But I did actually notice some mornings when I did pick my phone up, and like I knew I was picking it up when I had told myself I wasn't. And I actually, I already knew this, but I feel like it just really cemented it. But I really realized the impact that it had on, my morning and the rest of my day. Like, it was insane. Like, I would pick up my phone and maybe read a message or an email about something. And I was like, it then just puts me in the mood, and then I'm in work mode, and it's like, oh my God, I haven't had the morning to myself. And then, it just throws everything else off. So if you haven't done this, please go experiment with it and try it, because it is a game changer. So that is your sign to go and do it if you haven't already. And if you have, let me know how you found it. I want to know. So let's dive into this month's challenge. So for the month of March, I am challenging you to increase your daily movement by implementing a step goal. So we are stepping it up in March. So that is your challenge for this month. I am not going to actually say a specific amount of steps, because it is going to look different for absolutely everybody. And what works for one person may not necessarily work for someone else, and what works for them may not work for someone else. So it's also going to really depend on, of course, things like your goals, your lifestyle, your occupation, and even, how active or sedentary you are. And I even feel like in the, health and fitness space in general, I feel like there's just this huge thing about like 10,000 steps, and that you have to hit 10K steps a day. And, like for a lot of people, that can be totally unrealistic. Like, I'm telling you right now, not all of my clients are hitting that per day, and they're getting, amazing results. But like I'm telling you, it's not realistic for everyone. And, especially if they're, if you're trying to go from like 3,000 or 4,000 or even 6,000 steps a day, and you're trying to jump that up to 10,000 steps a day. And, just like I always say as well, we don't want to go from 0 to 100 overnight. So when you're thinking about, your step goal for this month, for March, I want you to think about what you are a 9 out of 10 confident that you can achieve and follow through with. So think about it. What are you a 9 out of 10 confident that you can achieve, that's realistic, and that that you'll be able to follow through with it? And the reason I say this, and this is something that I often use a lot of the time with my clients as well, especially when we're setting things like habits and actions for them, and expectations, we are making sure that it is realistic. Because when we set the bar, or I guess the expectation, the goal, the whatever it is, too high, and it's like, again, going from 0 to 100, it is sometimes so out of reach, so unrealistic. We have this huge expectation of ourselves, and then we're not being able to meet that on a consistent basis. And then we're feeling disappointed in ourselves. We're feeling like a failure, like we're not good enough, demotivated. We're losing our momentum. We're hard on ourselves. It puts us in a shit mood. And, that ripple on effect of that downward spiral, right? Whereas when you set a realistic goal, expectation, bar, habit, action, whatever it is, whatever we want to refer to it as, when you set a realistic one and you're able to consistently follow through with it, that is going to build your self-trust, your self-confidence. It's going to have an impact on how you feel. You're going to feel like you're progressing in the right direction. You're going to feel like you're, making progress. It's going to make you feel motivated, empowered. It is going to really help you make progress and inspire you into continuing to take that action when you set it at a realistic, standard. And then of course, over time as you are consistent in that, build on that, slowly build on that so you can really cement that into your routine, into your lifestyle as a new normal, essentially. Like eventually that is how you create permanent change with anything. I don't care what you're talking about, your steps, your nutrition, your meal prep, your gym workout. That is how you create permanent change. You need to start small. And I'm all about, setting huge and big goals and dreaming big, abso-fucking-freaking-lutely, because I am all about that. I would class myself as a visionary. So yes, I'm all about that. But if you are not clear on the small actions that you need to take in order to get there and cross that finish line, the steps, like a marathon starts with the first step and you've got to take every step in between that to cross the finish line. If you're not focusing on those steps to get there, you're never going to get there. So, sometimes you might need to split your huge, big goals and dreams down into smaller goals to almost use as goalposts along the way, which is going to help you actually make the progress and get there. And there was actually something that I was just going to say off the back of that. In terms of life coaching, goal setting is absolutely something that we, and it's not sort of like your traditional goal setting. It's so transformative. So again, if you are wanting to work with me, DM me live so you don't miss out on that early bird discount. But yes, so that is the reason why I encourage you to set a realistic step goal that you're 9 out of 10 confident that you can achieve it, right? And even if you, set the goal and you're like, set the step goal and you're like, that's not quite the goal or what I, want to achieve. Maybe you're wanting to get to, let's just say 9,000 steps per day and you're currently doing about 3,500 steps per day. Maybe it's setting it at, 5,000 steps. That's an extra 1,500 steps. And, that's not your goal of where you want to get to, but it's a starting point. And that is okay because you can build on this. Even for example, throughout the month of March, if you wanted to build on it by say 500 steps a week, you could do that. So, for example, let's just say you're doing 5,000 steps at the moment, right? So that could be your goal for the first week. You're aiming to do 5,000 steps a week. The next week, you might bump it up to 5,500 steps. And then the next week after that, so the third week of March, you might bump it up to 6,000 steps. Do that for the week. And then the final week of March, you might bump it up to 6,500 steps. So again, that is how you're going to create that permanent change. And it's going to reduce the overwhelm and the feeling of defeat and disappointment when you're not able to follow through with the actions and tasks and goals that you set out for yourself. And if you're someone who's already doing a suitable amount of steps that for your goals and, you're loving it, you've got a good walking routine and, you're getting your movement in, all those sorts of things, that is great. So go you, girlfriend, if that is already you. And if you're one of my clients, that is likely you. And if you can and want to challenge yourself that little bit further, this month, by all means, join us. And even if not, if you're like, I'm happy with what I'm doing at the moment, it's perfect, it's supporting my goals, it's great. I would even encourage you to maybe build on last month's challenge. So with doing your digital detox and, looking at your sleep routines, pre-sleep rituals, and, taking it a step further, looking even closer at your, maybe evening routine and your morning routines. How can you change that up to better support your sleep, your goals, and, everything else in between? Okay, so I'm going to give you in today's episode some really practical ways in which you can increase your steps easily across the day. But before we do go into that, I want to actually go into a little bit around the science behind why increasing your steps is going to support, obviously, not only one, weight loss goals and weight management, but also two, your overall health. And like by this, I mean not only your physical health, but also, your mental, emotional, and even spiritual health too. So increasing your, daily movement, and in this case, our steps across the day, by doing so, it's going to increase our total daily energy expenditure, which is also known as TDEE, short for total daily energy expenditure. And this is essentially the total amount of calories that you expend or burn in a day. So it's a total amount of calories that you burn across the day. And it includes things like our BMR, our RMR, and our NEAT. This essentially stands for our basal metabolic rate, our resting metabolic rate, and our non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And I'm not going to go too much into this. If you're wanting to understand and learn about this a little bit more and, understand what the fuck this is in a way that is simple and easy to understand, head back to my second episode. I'm pretty sure it was my second episode, where I talk about what a calorie deficit is. I talk about the science behind it in a, like I said, a very simple, easy way to understand. And I also talk about the equation behind weight loss and about how energy balance really works. So if you want to sort of understand a little bit more about that, go back and listen to episode 2. It's very educative and can help you really sort of understand that on a deeper level in an easy, non-complex way. Because I know it's like when people throw terms at you, it's like, okay, that's great, but what the fuck does it mean? If you know, you know. So one thing I am going to explain a little bit more to you about though is NEAT. So non-exercise activity thermogenesis stands for NEAT, which is essentially the energy that we burn or expend through our daily life movement. So all of the movement we're doing across the day that isn't actually deliberate exercise. So it's not purposeful or intentional. So it's not, things like going to the gym, going for an intentional walk, going to yoga, going for a swim, all those sorts of things. But it is the non-deliberate movement that we do throughout the day, such as, playing with your kids or, getting up to walk to the bathroom, fidgeting your hands or your feet, carrying your groceries inside, doing cleaning, housework, all of those things. You get the idea. It's a movement that we do across the day that isn't actually intentional or purposeful exercise. So all of these things contribute to our total daily energy expenditure. So it's the energy that we are, expending or burning, same, which is, increasing the calories that we burn, the total daily energy expenditure. And obviously in this case specifically, through increasing your steps is increasing how much energy you're burning, which can make it more easily for you to create a calorie deficit. So if you don't know what a calorie deficit is, essentially it is eating less calories than what you are expending or burning. So calories in versus calories out is essentially that's affecting your energy balance. So that will reflect and affect your results that you see. So whether you're losing weight, whether you're maintaining your weight, or whether you're gaining weight. Now, increasing your daily movement and your steps is going to be particularly helpful if you have a goal of weight loss, obviously, and it's going to support you in helping you lose the weight. It'll also support weight management, so it's going to support you in maintaining your results as well, and essentially sustaining that. And walking is literally, I think I may have said this on the podcast before, I'm not sure, but walking is literally one of the most underrated forms of exercise. So, for someone who is quite active, their NEAT is generally going to contribute more towards their total daily energy expenditure. And when I say NEAT, that's our non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that's referring to our movement across the day that isn't intentional exercise. So that is going to contribute more towards the total energy calories that we burn across the day than their deliberate exercise will. So that's someone, like I said, who is, who is quite active. And I'm not saying to not exercise, but I'm saying that walking is a very underrated form of movement that can contribute towards energy expenditure more than you actually think. So yes, NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, you're going to get sick of me saying that, is essentially your non-intentional exercise. But when we combine that with our intentional steps, so maybe that might be intentionally going for a walk, that is going to increase the amount of energy that we're expending. And so we know the impact that it has on our, physical results in terms of, weight loss, maintaining our health, etc. But yeah, so not only is it going to help us lose or potentially maintain our weight, and without having to actually cut our calories drastically, which, if you know me, I never actually recommend anyway. But it's also going to support, our, overall health and well-being in general. So by increasing your total daily movement by, implementing your step goal, with whatever that is, you're a 9 out of 10 confident that you can follow through with, doesn't just help your physical health. Like I just said, it's also going to be a huge boost, and, have a profound impact on things like your mental health, emotional health, your spiritual health, and even positively impact things like, your mood, your focus, your productivity, even your sleep as well. So the benefits go far beyond just, expending energy and burning calories. So we already spoke, like I said, about some of the physical benefits. To break it down, more steps equals more energy expenditure, which we know can, help you lose weight or maintain a healthy weight when, of course, as well, combined with the right nutrition. Really important to point that out, because energy out can be as much as we like, but if the energy in is not supportive of our goals, it's going to flip the energy balance completely out, and you probably won't be in a calorie deficit, and you might be in a calorie maintenance or surplus, which is going to cause you to potentially gain weight instead of lose weight. So nutrition is going to be really key when it comes to that as well. But of course, by increasing your daily movement, it's going to increase the amount of energy that you're expending, which is going to support you in creating that calorie deficit without having to, even more drastically cut your calories, which again is not something that I generally recommend. So not only it supports our physical health, it also supports our mental health. So, movement, which obviously includes even walking, helps us to release endorphins. So you've probably heard that word before, these feel-good chemicals, these feel-good hormones that help us reduce, things like stress, anxiety, and depression, all those sorts of things. And if you actually attended the free Move for Mental Health event that I hosted last year in September, you would know that exercise has been scientifically proven to be 1.5 times more effective for mental health conditions such as, again, anxiety, depression, other mental health conditions than medication has. So let me say that again. Exercise and movement, which obviously includes walking, has been scientifically proven to be 1.5 times more effective for, let's just say, mental health than medication. So it beats me why when people go to the doctors, they just put someone straight on medication for, anxiety or depression or whatever it might be. And I'm not saying that, I truly believe there's a place for every, health modality and health professionals and things like that. But when you're not addressing the underlying causes of that, like if you're not moving your body, I know for me, the very reason I got into the fitness industry is because I knew when I sustained a life-changing injury through soccer, I knew the impact. It put me off the field and off exercise for 12 months. It was a very, long and slow recovery and rehab process. But during that time when I couldn't move my body, I couldn't exercise, I couldn't do the thing that I loved so much, I realized how it made me feel, the impact it had on, number one, my mental health, but then the ripple and effects that it had then on my sleep, my motivation, my mindset, my nutrition, so many more things. It impacted so much just because I wasn't able to move my body. And I also, not just through and that's obviously the very reason I realized, if other people aren't, moving their bodies, how the fuck do they feel? We need to get more people moving so they can feel good. It's not just about going into the gym to build the muscle or lose the weight or whatever it might be. It's fucking for the head as well. And if you know, you know. So, and like I said as well, like my journey through like almost 9 years, next month will be 9 years in business, which I cannot believe. And what was I going to say with that? Yes, through my journey of supporting clients over the last 9 years, I have seen firsthand the positive impact that exercise and movement has on mental health. Like, it is beyond a doubt that it is so effective. So, anyways, I'm not going to talk more about the doctors. If you listened to my last episode, you would have heard me talking to Bridget from City Cave, and we're talking about sort of like chronic health conditions and things like that. And there was something I had seen a little while ago, and it was like, if your doctor doesn't ask about your nutrition, your movement, your habits, your physical health, like, your sleep, all of these things, if your doctor doesn't ask you about all of those aspects and they're prescribing you medication, you don't have a doctor, you have a drug dealer. And it's like, it's so true, because all of these things impact our health and of course our mental health as well. And I don't know about you, I always feel good or feel even better after I go for a walk. Like, even especially in nature. Like, it is like going for a walk in nature, and without headphones even, is honestly one of my favorite things to do. And it is like so grounding. So yeah, and I guess while I'm talking about that, it can support our spiritual health. Like, because I've found this through my own journey. And I guess, when we're walking in solitude, in, silence, so maybe no stimulation, so no headphones, no phone, no podcast, no audio books, no walking with a friend, you're just walking by yourself, just being fully present, totally in the moment, I think can really support our spiritual health, in the sense that, I believe it can increase our connection to our intuition and actually allow ourselves to, get quiet enough to hear, what our soul is trying to communicate with us, what maybe spirit is trying to communicate with us, what God, source, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, is trying to communicate with us, or even, our higher self. And, getting quiet enough to hear it outside of the busyness of the day, I've found can even result in things like downloads. So receiving, sudden insight, messages, pings, information, random ideas, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I truly think that it can really help us connect with our intuition, which can support our spiritual health. And outside of that as well, I think it can positively impact things, like I said before, our mood. Like I said as well, I know how I feel after I go for a walk. My mood always feels better. It can improve our productivity, and 10 out of 10, like for me, talking about my own personal experience, I know if let's just say in the morning, I get up, go for a walk, do whatever I need to do, part of my morning routine, move my body, blah, blah, blah. I know that helps me be more productive throughout the day. If I sleep in, snooze the alarm, don't do anything for me in the morning, start work, I am not productive. And it goes back to the saying of, you need to be able to fill your cup up before you fill in anyone else's or any other thing, people, purpose, blah, blah, cups. You need to fill your own and look after yourself. And I think that, exercise, and in this step, walking, intentional walking, could be, to help you be more productive, and, could even be classed as a form of self-care as well. I know when I was in the midst of my burnout, walking was something that was I actually created a self-care list. So I had a number of things and activities that I classed as self-care for me. And when I needed to fill up my cup, I would look at that list that I had on the back of my door. I would pick something and I would go do it. So yes, I think that, by increasing our step goal and intentional walks in this case, of course, can also be classed as a form of self-care. It's going to impact our mood, our focus, productivity, and, even our energy levels. It's going to give us energy. It's even like, when you're in the car and you're driving to, holiday destination, maybe you're in the car for like, 4 or 5 hours, right? And you get there and or you get home and you're totally exhausted. And it's like, I haven't done anything. Like, how the hell am I this tired? But it's like when you're actually moving your body, it gives you energy. So even a lot of clients that I've worked with who previously didn't do regular exercise and then they started exercising, they were like, wow, like I actually have so much more energy. Like, and obviously we're also looking at things like their sleep and their habits and all those sorts of things. But they, were so surprised that moving their body, they thought they would have been more exhausted, but it actually gave them energy. So yeah, that's a big one. Obviously it can then support our sleep as well because we're expending more energy. Our body's needing to rest and repair itself, which is going to increase the quality or effectiveness of our sleep, which then has that positive ripple and effect of, being more productive throughout the day. And yeah, so even outside of that, like it could also serve as a great mental break or a work break. Again, being able to improve your focus and productivity. I know this is something that I personally do, and whether it's generally when I'm actually in my work day, it won't be an intentional walk, but I'll get up, I'll go outside, I'll just ground myself, walk in the grass, and then, no phone, no technology, come back in and then restart again, which serves as that mental break, which helps then, helps me be more productive and stay focused as well. So yes, there's obviously so many benefits of increasing your, movement, and in particular in having an intentional walk throughout your day, to not only your physical health, but also your mental, spiritual, emotional, and a ripple and effect on so many other areas as well. So lastly, let's just talk about some practical ways in which you can easily increase your, daily step movement. Your daily movement. And in this case, I guess what we're trying to say is your steps. So what I've already spoken about is, I guess, really going for an intentional walk. So carving out, whether it's 5 minutes on your lunch break and getting out, going for a walk, coming back, whether it's literally carving out half an hour in your morning to go for a walk for the purpose of moving your body, or, catching up with a friend and doing a walk and talk, whatever that looks like. That is obviously an intentional walk. What I'm now going to talk about is how you can increase your steps throughout the day without having to intentionally kind of go for a walk. So it's going to support obviously your physical health. It's going to support increasing that step, the daily steps, which is, we know, going to increase our NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is going to contribute to our total daily energy expenditure. So it's going to cause us to be able to, burn more calories essentially. So number one, in terms of increasing your steps without having to go for an intentional walk, could be taking the stairs. Like, it's a simple one, but a lot of the time, like, people are jumping in the elevator or, so skip the elevator or the excavator, whatever you call it, escalator, and take the stairs instead. And you'll be surprised like how quickly it can actually add up as well. So that's one thing you could do. Another thing you could do is, even, I sort of already touched on this, but like walking during your breaks. So instead of, sitting down during your lunch break, or, other breaks that you have, get up, take a walk around the block, or, inside your office building, or, depending on, where you are or what you do for work, going for a short walk on your lunch break instead of just sitting down. Even if you're on your phone, like maybe you have to spend some time on your phone during your lunch break. Maybe you've got, extra emails that you need to reply to, or whatever it might be. Or maybe you're just sitting there scrolling. It might feel a little bit uncomfortable to get up and go for a walk when you're like, oh, I just want to sit here and look at my phone. Start by taking the phone with you. Walk and scroll, or walk and reply to an email. It doesn't have to be a super fast walk, like a I can't remember what the walking is. That's like the Olympic walking. That's gonna really annoy me now, but that's okay. I hate that when you're trying to think of something, you can't think of the word. But yeah, so it doesn't need to be a super quick walk. It could just be a, slow walk while you're on your phone. And that you could start with that. Eventually, maybe you can ditch the phone, but just start small. So that could be something that you do, or, even, I guess this is kind of like intentionally taking a walk, but maybe you could intentionally take a short break to go for a walk. So like I said before, like I sometimes, get away from the computer, I walk outside, and, I'm just on the grass. It's not a huge walk, but it is some movement, which helps, across the day. You'd be surprised if you do that 3 times, it's increasing, your movement across the day. even if it's just around the house or around the office, like filling your water bottle up or, whatever that might be. Another thing that you could do is park your car further away. So when you're, heading out somewhere, obviously by car, you could park a little bit further away from the location to where you're actually going. And that's going to obviously help you sneak in some extra steps. So that's something you could do. Something else, which is something that I really encourage my clients to do, especially the clients who work from home. But when you're taking phone calls, that means walk time. So if you're sitting there on the phone, instead of actually sitting down, stand up and walk around. Like, it's a simple way to add movement without even having to think about it. Like, yes, obviously you need to think about it initially okay, I'm on a phone call. It's probably going to be a 20-minute phone call. Let's get up and just walk. Even if you're walking around your house, if you're working from home, just moving. It's gonna really support those, steps and, your goals as a whole. So something else you could do is habit stacking. So whenever you do a specific habit that you already do every single day, it could be stacking the walk off the back of that, even if it's only a very short walk. So, an example of this could be, going for a short walk after you have a meal. So it could be, having breakfast or having lunch or having dinner and going for just a quick 10-minute walk afterwards. So habit stacking could be a really great way to help you just get in the habit of doing that and, being able to move your body. Another thing is, and this is actually an intentional way, but it just came to mind, going for a walk with someone. So if you have an appointment with someone, you're going for a walk and talk, as I like to call it, which, by the way, time, when you're talking to someone, chatting away, time goes so fast and you're like, holy shit, like we're 5Ks down already. Walking and talking can be a great way to help, I guess, even just with that accountability as well. Like if you've organized to catch up with someone for a walk on the weekend, on Saturday morning at 9 a.m., you're going to be much more likely to actually do it. It's going to be a great accountability support as well. So yeah, that could be, that's again, more of an intentional way. Another thing that you could do, and this is actually something that I really want to get for my office at home, which I am going to do eventually, but I want to invest in a walking pad. So, being able to have this would make it super convenient while I'm, maybe on my computer or maybe I'm studying, watching a video training. I can literally walk while I watch it. Especially on those days where as well, the weather might not be very enticing to get outside, like maybe it's raining or something, it can just make it easier to be able to follow through with, hitting that step goal or, getting that movement in. And then lastly, swapping the habits that don't support your goals with ones that do. And, in this case, we're talking about walking. So, instead of scrolling on your phone in bed for half an hour in the morning, or even, watching multiple episodes of Netflix on the couch of an evening, maybe you do that with your husband every night or with your kids or your partner or whatever. Instead of doing these habits that you already do, replace it with something that does support your goals. So in this case, specifically a walk. So, that can also serve as great quality time with, your partner, your husband, your kids, as your, like with your family as a whole. If you've got kids, they could take their bikes if they have kids. You can take your dogs for a walk. Like it's a win-win for everyone. So being able to swap the habits that you're already participating and engaging in for the walk is going to be really supportive. And, it's going to support your energy. It's going to support your mood. It's going to support, even family connection or connection with your partner, quality time. And it's not you taking out or making more time in your day. It's just swapping something that you already do that doesn't support your goals with something that does. So they are some practical ways in which you can help you increase your NEAT, which I'm not going to say what that stands for already. You should actually know that by now. I've said it like 10 times. So that's going to help you increase your NEAT. It's going to help you obviously increase your total daily movement and of course your steps. Your step goal. It's going to help you hit the step goal that you set for yourself, which again, we want to be 9 out of 10 realistic. So my step goal for March, I have had a little bit of a think about this and I am setting it at 8,000 steps per day. And I'm being realistic because I know that I have some training days coming up next weekend. I'm going to be in the city. I'm going to be sitting down all day. And, by the time I'm leaving, getting home, also it's a very hectic month for me. So I'm being realistic, and I'm going to set the goal at 8,000 steps per day. And you know what? I know there's days that I'm going to get over this for sure, but there's going to be days that I'm going to maybe be a little bit under, and I'm going to have to really make that effort to get to that 8,000. Especially in days that I may be, not going to the gym, or, not going for a run, or whatever that looks like. So that is my step goal. I want to hear what yours is. So make sure you go ahead and post it in the Facebook community group. Do not forget to keep us updated in there. Or when I say us, like me and everyone else in the community, send us a picture, walking your dog, kids on their bikes or their scooters, selfie of you going for a walk, whatever it is, post it in the Facebook group and let us know what your step goal is for March. And even if you're planning on, for the first week doing X amount of steps and then building on that throughout March, let me know. So that is March's challenge. We are really stepping it up in March, which is also the podcast title of today's episode. And as always, the next monthly challenge will be dropping on the 1st of every month, so the 1st of April. And in the meantime, and as always, like I just said, make sure you go join the SK Bodyworks community on Facebook. If you aren't already part of it, keep us updated with how you're progressing with the challenge. I also do have a broadcast channel on Instagram, which you'll find in my bio. It's called the Highest Self Society. And yeah, like I've said before, we're doing these challenges, these monthly challenges, as a community together. So that is all for today's episode. Like I've said at the start of today's episode, if you're interested in one-on-one life and mindset coaching, DM me life on socials, so you can be one of the first to know all of the details when it launches very, very soon. The first 4 to 5 people that join, and I already have 4 people on the wait list, so the first 4 to 5 people that join will get that highly discounted exclusive early bird rate. It is only going to be applicable for that. After that, the price is going to go up. So if you're interested, send me a DM live, and we can chat further. So that is all for now, girlfriend. I will see you on the next episode, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, whatever is left of it.